Who's
So,
starting?
all right, welcome back, guys. It's been a while. Cleats&Beats,
Episode 9.
episode 9. It's a lot. It's a lot that we have to uncover this episode. We're gonna cover the Europa Championship that happened a couple days ago, and what else, Lucky? What else we have on this episode that we got to cover?
Yeah, we're going to talk about the Europa Finals, Champions League
Yep,
final
Champions
matchup,
League.
some
Yep,
predictions there,
yep. Some
uh,
predictions.
and then just kind of transfers. We're going to talk a lot
Yep.
about Spurs and United from that game, and then potential transfers. We have the U.S. men's national team Gold Cup roster
Yeah.
drop with some notable
Oh
omissions.
boy. Yep. Luka
So we'll talk
Modric.
about that. Yeah, Luka Modric
Modric
leaving
leaving.
Real Madrid. Kevin De
Man.
Bruyne leaving.
Oh
Still,
man.
still seems a little upset about it, but
I know. I know. What can you do?
yeah,
And then last but not least, Hansi Flick, one of my favorite coaches this season, actually. Also,
mhm.
we have a
Yeah.
news on that.
He's turned the team around really well,
Big time. Big
big
time.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's start with the Europa League Championship final. What were your thoughts? Did it even feel like a final when you're watching it?
It felt like a final. There was good chances both from both teams. It was
Yeah.
surprising that it ended up just being 1-0.
One
But
zero. I'm not surprised at all.
really,
No, it doesn't surprise me. Considering where they are in the EPL table, it does not surprise me at all.
hmm
At all, like
no,
at one bit.
because they had. I'm just thinking about all the chances they've had.
Oh
They
my
had
goodness.
Diallo had an early chance in the first half.
My
They had the
goodness.
Haaland header in the second half. Fernandez had a couple chances.
Hmm.
This is all from a United side, and then even the Spurs goal wasn't very pretty.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah,
It looked like it was a handball
yeah, it was a handball from the United player.
for a United player. So they were
Yeah, but
you
it's
it's like
still
an
kind
ugly
of
goal.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's an ugly goal.
it just didn't feel like I didn't there was no excitement for me. Like it just didn't really feel like a final at all. I don't know. There's just something about it that was missing. Maybe I just went in with a low expectation. Maybe.
Yeah,
Um.
maybe because the way they played in the league this season, that they they really weren't the top teams in the Premier League. So
Mhm.
yeah, it was kind of the battle of the
Of,
underperforming
of the
teams.
other performing team, yeah.
I try to say
Um.
it in a nicer way. Nice. Freezing.
6 shots on target, and then Tottenham had 1 shot on target. Big chances, United 4, and then Tottenham 1.
Mhm.
I don't know. And accurate passes. United had 433 passes.
Need some stats.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Compared to Tottenham's 112. Like, this game just had mid written all over it. And I'm sure the Champions League is gonna live up to the expectation. There's
Yeah.
been the past Europa League games has always been great. Has always been great.
Mhm.
Do you want to hear an interesting fact about the Spurs this season with United?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let me hear it.
They've beaten them 4 times this season.
Wow.
That tells you where United's club is going. Twice
I
in the
thought
EPL, home and away,
yep.
and then this final, that's 3. And then in the Carabao Cup, they beat them 4 times. 4 times. If you're a fan, you must be going crazy.
I thought Ruben, the coach of United Amarin, was supposed to save the team. What happened?
I know. He came in. I think the team that he was left was not the greatest, right?
Yeah.
So there's still like a bunch of gaps. I don't really see any winners on the team compared to Bruno Fernandez and whatnot. So I
Mhm.
guess we since we're talking about United, we might as well just segue into that part of it. But like you said in the beginning, United had plenty of chances and they just did not finish it. Um, and getting beaten by the same team 4 times this season, you got to be doing something wrong. right?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, it's very surprising. And like
mhm,
Garnacho, I don't think he got subbed out
right.
until kind of late in the second half. So
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
some surprising omissions on the team. I
yeah.
think he's a dynamic player, and he doesn't seem very happy,
I think he
with
might.
his minutes.
I think he's thinking about leaving. No.
Yeah, he's thinking about leaving. He wants to play more. I don't blame him. He's
I mean,
young.
he's
He's
a
got to
great
play.
player. Yeah, he's young. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Where would you see him if he was to leave?
yeah. I don't know. I
I
don't
don't know
know.
where.
Depends on
I
the.
I could
Depends
see
on
him
the.
fit Arsenal. Maybe I could see him fit Arsenal.
Yeah, I can see it. No, it depends on kind of who comes calling, and but he
Hmm.
probably likes to be in the Premier League. So maybe another team in the Premier League.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Um. Yeah, but Casemiro looks like he was just dead in the midfield, like tired legs.
I don't know if United was the right decision for him, to be honest. Now that I
Yeah.
look back, I mean,
Yeah.
Real
Uh,
Madrid, he probably was going to get less and less minutes at
Real
Madrid,
Madrid.
so he was
Yeah.
probably looking at his future as well. But
Yeah.
United has been a mess. I mean, they were a mess when he came, and they're still a
Hmm.
mess.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, just United, just the finished touches were just poor. It's just a bulk of them are just not good enough, and they're all pretty much on big on wages. So
Hmm.
if I were United, I would do a lot of cleanup this summer coming up and see if I can bring some fresh legs in, fresh
Yeah.
new ideas. But do you think they're gonna keep? You think they're gonna keep the coach, consider going trophyless, and then where they are on the table?
I mean, you got to give him some time. I think
Hmm.
they should because I don't know if you have a backup plan at this point.
Mm.
You signed him this season.
Hmm.
Give him a season to get things figured out, and
Hmm.
maybe early next year, let's see what the results are. But
Hmm.
I mean, I'm looking at the squad.
Hmm.
Obviously, Maguire's a little bit slower.
Yeah,
Casemiro is losing pace, but
pace. Yep.
Mount has been injury plagued. But for the most part, the starting 11, they have a lot to build off of. So when I look at the results, that's why it's so surprising.
Yeah,
So what's going on.
yeah. Rashford left. They
He's on
need a.
loan, I think, right?
Oh, it's on long. Yeah,
But
Ahmad.
he
I
could come
like.
back. I like
Yeah,
Diallo. Yeah, I
I
do
do.
I like him.
I yeah. I love his pace and his energy and
Yeah.
his. He's a great player. So I really hope United hold on to Ahmad. Um, but yeah, other than Bruno, who had the highest rating, I don't see any game winners on the team either, right?
Mhm.
Since he came in, who has he really made better on the team? You think? Exactly.
Yeah, I don't because I'm trying to think what impact he's had on the squad that he got. I don't know if he's had a major impact.
Other than the Ahmad kid,
Did he bring him in or was he was already on the team?
I think he was already there. I think he might be like one of the academy. He went through the ranks of the academic players. I don't think they brought him from anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I think the fear factor that United had when Fergie was there after he left is just gone now. Like they really don't have that anymore. Um,
Mhm.
but the good news for United next year is what? No European football next season. So where do you go from there as a coach? You think you don't have
You
any
got
distraction?
you You
Yeah,
got
the
no
only
distractions.
focus.
You only focus on the Premier League. So you should
Yeah.
have success early and it should have sustained success. Playing less games, you would
Hmm.
think less injuries. The squad would be more focused on one Premier League season. But
Hmm.
there's still gonna be it's gonna affect their ability to get players when there's no European football. So
That's that's also
you
yeah,
know.
yeah. Yeah, that's true. Because I don't know if you're a young and upcoming kid coming up, and they put let me even put a lesser let's say they put Arsenal on the table and they say United.
Mhm.
Where do you think they're gonna go? Right?
Yeah, the team who's winning. Yeah.
Yeah, the team was winning. The team who's gonna be in the Champions League. The team who's they're gonna trust in the coach because I don't know if they trust much in the coach. consider
Yeah.
how much money that they spend. They spend way more than Spurs,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know. But I really don't think they will sack him though. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think they'll sag him. I think one of the biggest issues is that they're just not scoring enough goals. Like you mentioned when I said it was only one goal, you weren't surprised. So
Yeah, no,
I don't
I'm
think
not.
they're getting enough production from the front player. Their attacking players need to
Yeah,
be scoring more goals, you know.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
And
Do
also
you
had a
think
bunch of injuries this year.
they did? Yeah. Do you think the players should take some responsibilities?
Ultimately, it's the players on the field that that dictate the game. There's only so much the coach can do. So players should take.
Yeah,
I mean, the striker Rasmus, he seems like a good player. I've
yeah.
seen him play. I've seen his work rate. He
Hmm.
seems like he has really good potential, but he's just not scoring as much.
Yeah, I'm looking at the bench now too. They actually not bad. They have Ericsson on the bench, Lindelof on the bench, Johnny Evans, Amas. Yeah, like they have decent
Mhm.
bench, but they don't have killer players,
No
right? They
killer
don't.
players. Either they need to find some young kids because it's gonna be hard to attract big players. You need to find
Hmm.
some
Hmm.
kids that are hungry that's willing to make a difference. Because United
Yeah,
is a huge club.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I just remember even when we were in high school, when just the Fergie era, just looking at the rosters, I'm like, oh my goodness, like,
Amazing.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and anytime, even like the bench, who they call back on, like after all that he retired, everything I just feel like just went down the drain.
Hmm.
And it tells you how much of an impact a coach really, really, really has on a team.
Yeah. He's
And that's why
able to
Liverpool is in a yeah,
build a
that's
good
what
culture. Yeah.
yeah, that's what Liverpool right now is in a great pole position because when Club left, the amount of high level standard quality players he left for them is great,
Yeah.
right?
Seems like anyone could have picked up and just continued what he was doing.
Hmm.
It took him a while to build the team. He's built
Hmm.
his team, and now they're ready to run. I was
Yeah.
looking at United's forwards stats from the Premier League season.
Hmm.
I think Hoyland had 4 goals all all league season, and the other forward
Wow.
Xerxes had 3 goals.
Oh
7 goals
man.
between the 2 strikers.
Yeah.
That's not gonna
Yeah.
cut it. And
You can't even. Yeah. You can't
I
make
wonder.
anywhere close in the mid table. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if they're looking for a striker or if they're, openly
They
looking
ha-
for a striker.
yeah. They have to go in the market, and they need a striker with a character, cockiness,
Yeah.
just that bold, just that player that knows he feeds off the fans' energy. Just somebody who is just gonna put the ball, like how you always say, put the ball in the back of the net.
The ball in the net. It's just
Put
someone
the
to
ball.
put the ball in the net.
Yeah, it
I
doesn't
was
even
just
need to be pretty.
it doesn't need to be pretty at all.
Yeah.
Uh, I just Googled, Manchester United problems, and it
Hmm.
gives you an AI overview, and it does a pretty good job of
Oh
breaking
wow,
down what
really?
it is. Yeah.
Let's hear it. Let's hear
And
some more.
so, yeah, on-field performance, there's just 2 categories: on-field
Hmm.
performance and financial problems. First, low goal output.
Yeah.
United is on track for a record low number of goals scored in the Premier League. So, like we were just
Jeez.
talking about, you need to
Yeah.
score goals to win games.
You got to.
Negative goal difference. Uh, um, so, you got to score more than you give up. They have mounting injuries, which is true.
Which is true. Yeah.
Lack of fluidity and cohesion. It seems like the team is kind of a mess. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
defensive vulnerabilities. We just talked about that earlier
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
fullbacks that they have because Maguire's slow. Luke Shaw just came back from injury. I'm looking at the rest of the defenders.
It's a lot of I I was
Yeah.
wondering if the coach was hoping for Maguire to come do another miracle like he did in the semifinal game at the end there.
Mhm.
I was
Mhm.
like, oh man, that's not gonna cut it. But it's unbelievable. Like United is 16th in the league.
That's crazy.
That is how many 39 points. And Leicester is 25. So what?
Man.
Um 14. So
This is worse than last year.
yeah. So if Leicester would have step up a little bit, or like the three teams who are getting relegated,
Hmm.
Leicester, Ipswich, and Southampton, if any of those three teams would have put up like a really, really good fight
Hmm.
and like kind of like tie games here and beating teams here and there, we could be looking at both Tottenham and Man U really getting relegated. And that is a huge thing.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That is
That
insane. Yeah.
imagine how much financial. What would have
Yeah. What
what
would have happened? Yeah.
what would have
So the
happened?
so Leicester, the bottom three automatically relegated, or is there a playoff?
No.
Automatic.
Yeah, I'll make it ready get it, and then the three from the championship side comes and take their place.
Man, they were close.
Very close.
Very close.
Yeah. Yeah, and Tottenham was 38, um, 13 points from the relegation zone. They got lucky.
They're lucky. Those
They
two
got,
teams are lucky. Leicester
oh man.
just had a terrible year.
Because in the past years, like the three that are going down usually battle it out, and sometimes like on the last day of
Flip.
it, yeah, I always keep flipping and stuff like that. So man, that would have been crazy if those two teams would have gotten relegated. That destroys your club.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Like,
hard. Yeah.
yeah, it's
Did you
it
see
goes
it,
to
Forrest? Like the owner of Forest got on the
no,
pitch.
no.
So I think it was 2 games ago. I
Yeah,
think Forest was leading in the second half, and they had an injury, and they went down to 10 briefly, and they needed the points. And I think they ended up drawing the game,
yeah,
and now they're in seventh place. You know, 1 point out of fifth and fourth for Champions League positions. So
that's crazy.
the owner, he's thinking about money. It's like this is going
Yeah,
to cost me
it's
money.
gonna cut. Yeah, because if you
So
make it a Champions League, you make money too.
yeah, so they're close. It's between those four teams: Newcastle, Chelsea, Villa, and
City
Forest.
and
Are
City.
battling out. City's got at least a 2 point cushion between those teams.
Yeah, but
So
they can't afford to lose to Fulham, and
yeah,
Fulham is battling to go into the Europa League, so they're playing home, so they're not gonna be a rollover at all.
Europa League is the next two, or just the one the sixth
The
position.
Europa League, yeah, the Europa League is gonna be the sixth. Actually, the Europa League is gonna be the sixth place because England is gonna have five teams represented in the Champions League this year
Okay,
because of the new format that they have, and then the Conference League is gonna be the seventh place.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. So
Um,
yeah, so it's gonna be exciting weekend. But let's talk a little bit about Spurs and how they were able to pull this off after 17 years of no trophy.
Congrats! I know. Congrats! I'm impressed. He'd been talking pretty good about the team. It's just he always says the right things.
Hmm.
The fan base is frustrated. They want a trophy. He promises a trophy on the second season. He actually delivered on that.
Hmm.
They had a great season last year.
Hmm.
The squad has a lot of young players. There's been
They
quite a bit of
do.
turnover,
They
so
do.
you can kind of see, why this season was a little bit. It was a bit more of a challenge for them than usual.
Yeah.
But even though they had a terrible season, at least they got a trophy. Something
They
they
did.
haven't
Hey, that's what I
they
was
haven't had in so long. Yeah.
that's what my question was to you. Spurs, if Chelsea doesn't win the Conference League next week, which I think they'd probably be better. I mean, actually, I don't know.
Spurs,
But no, I'm
you know,
saying I'm saying if Chelsea doesn't win the Conference League next week against Real Betis, Spurs had a better season than City, Chelsea, Arsenal. Hey, you
because of
better
the trophy.
because of the trophy.
No,
Because
I
the
don't think so. I
yes,
disagree. I
and
disagree.
are you ready to hear this?
I'm
And they're
listening.
going to the Champions League right away because you won
Yeah.
the Europa League.
Yeah.
So they went through the back door
Yeah.
to go to the Champions League.
This was the only chance that they had, really.
That's it. That's
Wow.
it. Yeah, that's it. So it's huge because they're going to the Champions League. You get money for that.
Hmm.
right? Yeah. And do you know how much money they get for winning this?
How
Two,
much?
125 million. Spurs get
Wow.
125 million. So on top of that too, they get 125 million. They can fill in some other players. They fill in these gaps that they're missing, right?
Yeah. It sets
So
them up really well.
it does. Even though their pole position is horrible in the table, it balances it out, right?
Yeah.
It balances it out. So
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm a Spurs fan. I'm super happy. I can still lose my final game this weekend and still be fine
Yeah.
because I'm going to the Champions League because
Hmm.
I did the dirty work, right?
Hmm.
Um but yeah, let's talk a little bit about the game. I saw that they made the coach was smart. He made a good defensive change, getting to the end there, just to kind of secure. That's what Barcelona should have done.
Hmm.
And they kind of sit back. United just keep pressuring, using the wings to cross it in. They're not getting anything back to them, and they were able to close it out. So if you're Daniel Levy, are you letting Angie stay, or are you getting rid of him after he won you? He just won you a trophy, or but then you
Yeah.
look at the table. How is he gonna do next season?
It's essentially it's up to who your options are. If you have someone better that you're excited for waiting in the wings,
Mhm.
then you have reason to sack. But if you don't, and the one coach that wins your trophy, you
Mhm.
sack him, it doesn't really look too good. And you also have to kind of factor what the players think. Get a feel for the dressing room. Do they like him? If they like him, they're going to play harder for
Yeah.
him next
Yeah.
year. He's going to have more financial support.
Mhm.
He'll be in the Champions League, so he can also, maybe get a couple more players. I,
Mhm.
I would keep him. He seems like a good coach. It seems like the players play really hard for him.
Yeah.
He was able to deliver a trophy, and I don't know which coaches or really good coaches are waiting in the wings for the Tottenham job. So
That's true.
it's been a like a carousel of coaches. So
Yeah, 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 yeah. The
they've
only,
kind of
yeah,
gone through a lot.
yeah. The only team that has really kept their coach, I mean, is Pep, right? And then I guess Klopp too was there for a long time, but
That's been it, really.
Liverpool,
Yeah,
yeah, that's
that's been
it.
it.
But other than that, it just been this person here, this person leave, and then come and then I guess Arteta too been there for a while now.
Mhm.
But it looks
They've
like
been
he's
playing good, but no trophy, like you
no
said.
trophies. Yeah, yeah. At the end of the day,
That's
Mourinho always said, at the end of the season, how many trophies did you win?
Mhm.
That's what people are gonna say. They're not gonna say you got second, you got in the Champions League. What did you win in the 2024-2025 season? That's all I want to know. Um, but yeah, in the game, Spurs were just throwing bodies to defend. Um, they just defended really well in the second half, and that really closed out the game. And I keep my hats off to him because he didn't want to do anything fancy. He hasn't
Yeah.
won a trophy in 17 years, so this is the perfect time.
This is the worst Spurs has finished in the table in since, like, 2010, 2011 season
Ooh, that
by a long shot.
really?
Before
How
that
much?
was 2002, 2003, or 2022, 2023. They finished 8th. The rest have been
Wow.
top 7, so
And
they've
g- and and guess
kept
who
their
was the
form.
and guess who was the coach? Poch. Remember Poch?
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
um
But he hasn't been doing anything for the US team, I'll be honest.
I know
I
it's
think
about
it's like a retirement job.
yeah, I think he's gonna leave. Just collect the check and bounce.
He's
Like
collecting the check.
yeah, just yeah. Yeah, but for the new coach, I remember for the first 6 months when he came in, they were up in the league and they were doing really well. And then they were playing high press. Man, his high press, I was like, my goodness. But it catch up to you. Injuries happen because
Mhm,
players have to adjust. And but overall, 17 in the league, but I won a trophy. Arsenal, show me your trophy.
mhm.
They've won European trophies, something that Arsenal cannot boast about. Only London teams that have won it is Chelsea, Tottenham now, West Ham, and I think Fulham. I think
Arsenal hasn't.
no, Arsenal has never. They lost in a Champions League final. I think back in 2008. That team was. I think that was the invisible. I want to say that was the invisible team.
Okay.
Um. Yeah. So.
Man, all this good football, but no trophies to show for it.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
they're
Exactly.
they finished second the last 2 years in the
I
league.
know. They're always the bride. I mean the. Yeah. No, not the.
The
What?
bridesmaid.
Yeah. I was the bridesmaid. Yeah.
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 Wow. Arteta's been there since 2019, 2020.
2006, they lost to Barcelona 2-1 in the Champions League final, and that was
Mm.
the last time they sniffed. That was the last time they sniffed that. Yeah,
They won the Community Shield in 2023, 2024.
I know. Dude,
Does that count?
dude, consolation trophy, dude, community shield, broke the community shield. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. So,
dang.
and you know how big of a rivalry those two teams are, right? They're a
Yeah.
huge rivalry in England. So yeah, Spurs winning it was a big deal. Like all the London clubs, Arsenal, and all those, they were supporting United for them to beat Spurs. Because
Hmm.
17 years is a long time.
Yeah.
17 years is a long
That's a
time.
long time.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah.
Wow.
So with 126 million, if you're Levy, Daniel Levy, what gaps are you filling? Are you trying to go back in the market to have a winger to support Song or a striker or
I would probably say who are the strikers? I would probably say strikers.
Richards?
Um,
I think it's that Brazilian guy, right? Richardson.
yeah, but he hasn't scored a lot of goals this season. I know that. I can look
Oh,
at the stats, but I would do like an in-depth analysis on what the biggest problems were this season.
yeah,
The coach should know. It should be pretty obvious
yeah,
to him.
yeah.
What the biggest.
Actually, Richardson is a left winger. Solanke is who they have up top, and then Sar plays right behind him.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
know if they're gonna get the job done for
I
you.
like I like that Johnson kid though.
I like him. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think he's their
24.
top scorer this season.
Yeah, I think other the big teams are just they're just kind of waiting for him to get mature a little bit, and then they'll come and scoop him for sure. He's gonna be like
Yeah, because I
the
think he played.
easy.
Yeah, he played for Forest before.
Oh, okay, okay. He's
Yeah,
well,
and then
he's
yeah,
washed. Yeah,
he's
great
yeah,
player.
yeah,
A
he's a
lot
good
of
player.
energy. A lot of
Yeah,
energy.
I was surprised Forest let him go, to be honest,
Yeah, yeah.
because he was one of the better players when he was there. But yeah, I would say probably find another forward
Hmm.
and maybe someone in the wings or someone that could create some more chances up
Yeah, for
top.
them. Yeah.
Because you know, he's not getting as many chances probably as he did when Kane was there because they're able to play off of each other.
Hmm. And
Um,
speaking of Kane, he definitely was a curse. As soon as that fool left, look what happened.
you couldn't have, you couldn't have predicted that though, based on the season they
Yeah,
had this year.
yeah. But then look, he went and won his, but his was obvious too. So,
Hmm.
um, but yeah, that's kind of like a wrap up between those two. It wasn't the greatest of game, but did you had in mind who you thought was gonna win that game? Did you had a prediction on that?
I probably would have favored United just because of the
Yeah,
lack of
same.
form. I'm sorry, I probably would have paid Spurs because of the lack of
First,
form United has had. I think United is probably better on paper,
mm-hmm. They
um,
are. They
but
spent more.
they spent more, so you would think they would win. I know, just deep down, I felt Spurs would win this game.
I thought it was gonna be United. I had prediction in my head like 2-1. Just a simple fact that I was like, there's no way a team will beat a team 4 times on a row in one season.
Hmm.
Because at least your luck is gonna have to fall in somehow, right? But
Hmm.
it looks like the football gods just that
Well, why would you
first
think? If they've done it 3 times,
or
they could probably do it again.
Yeah, but don't you think
It's
if you're United,
unlikely.
you
Yeah,
will, yeah,
it's
you will kind of
unlikely.
learn,
Yeah,
yeah, you kind of
yeah.
learn like, okay, we've lost these to these guys 3 times, we got to beat them at least once.
But also, Spurs are probably thinking we
We beat
beat
these
these
guys.
teams 3 times. We know we're better. Let's just play our game.
Okay,
So
that's
it's like
also
a
another.
mentality thing. Until you beat them, you
Uh-huh.
still are thinking, can we beat them? Until it's
Yeah, I didn't even
different.
think about that. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's teams we played in Sunday League that I'm like, we're better than, but we just can't
We just
beat
can't
them.
beat
And
them.
so
Yeah.
it's very frustrating as a
Yeah,
player
the same
coach.
same thing with the boys that I just coach our
Hmm.
season. They're just this team. We just cannot. I don't know what it is.
Hmm.
It's we play much better than them, but
For some
at the
reason.
very 2, 3 season on the road, there's always at the very end somebody does something. A kid forgets his position or like sleep switch off, and then boom, and then
Mhm.
yeah, and then it just happens. Yeah,
That's all it takes.
yeah. So that's kind of all it takes. So I could definitely understand that. So yeah, so we'll see how that goes. And then the EPL weekend too is coming, so we're gonna switch on to that.
I wanted to talk a little bit about
Yeah.
what Pep said about his having a big squad.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I can
yeah,
imagine that would be tough
yeah.
because he's saying that there's players that can't even travel to the game.
Jeez.
Like if they're not on the roster, if they're not on the provisional roster, they stay at home. So what are you training for if you're being left at home?
And the
You know?
motivation would even be there.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
tough. Yeah, if you have a
That'd
big
be
squad, it's gonna every week you have players that are not starting, that are on the bench, and then you have players that aren't even in the game. And over the season, you're gonna lose those players. So they're gonna be like, "Why am I even here if you don't play me?"
that would be so frustrating.
Yeah, I'd be. Yeah.
Can you imagine that? Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I could definitely see how that, because you're just gonna be at home. You can train by yourself, but how much of that really, and you can't go outside and play in the Sunday league. You
Hmm.
can't do any of that.
Hmm.
So
And if you
yeah,
can't play, you can't prove to him what you
yeah,
can do. So you need a
yeah,
chance.
yeah. So speaking of Pep, Kevin will be gone. Kevin De Bruyne will be gone, and then who else? Grealish, maybe.
I think Grealish should be gone.
Jesus Christ, that
What a
guy.
what a expensive signing.
Oh my goodness. He was, yeah, that guy was hot for they bought him when it was
At his
red
peak.
hot.
About him at
Yeah.
his peak. Yeah.
He bought him at his peak. I guess he did a little bit contribution in the champion for them winning the Champions League too. So I guess that's something.
It's always interesting. Is obviously for him, it's a no brainer. It's a big contract. He has to take it.
Hmm.
He's gone as far as he could at Villa. So, but when you sign for that price tag, there's a lot of pressure.
Huge
It's just
pressure.
pressure. It's like, am I going to fulfill? Am I worth this much of a contract?
Huge pressure. Yeah.
Yeah. Even like Holland, he's dipped this year compared to what
Big
he was
time.
playing
I
last year.
wonder,
Yeah.
yeah, if it dips again this year, there's gonna be a lot of eyes on him.
But he's
Yeah.
signed a 10-year contract.
Jesus.
So
How old
his money is fine. They
Yeah.
could loan him, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Jeez.
he's by far the highest paid player on the roster.
Who?
Holland.
Holland? Yeah. I
It
mean,
was and then it was De Bruyne and then Grealish and then Silva. So if
so,
I'm going through the roster, like John Stones, he could be gone.
hmm,
Forden they'll keep, but he just had some off-field stuff this year.
hmm,
Guardiola, I think Pep likes him. He does a really
yeah.
good job. Akanji,
And then the
Ake,
Egyptian,
those guys, I don't know. They
and
have
then
some injury concerns.
the guy that missed the PK, what's his name? The Egyptian guy.
Yeah, he's been one of the best players this year.
Great player.
Marmoush,
Mamouche,
Omar,
yeah.
and his PK was fine. It was just a little too high. Like he hit it
No,
hard. He
it's
hit it
no,
with
it was not fine. That's
no.
why he
Okay,
lived.
okay, but when
That's
you
why he
say
lived.
someone missed a PK, you would think it was a horrible PK.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
think it
I see
was a
what you mean.
Yeah, it could have been better, but I don't. When I watched it, I was like, oh, he just hit it a little too high. Because
who's that guy on the left wing?
Doku.
Yeah, Doku.
He had good chances too. Good chances
Yeah,
in the game. I
that'd
like
be.
Doku. I like
Oh
him.
man, if you're right, right back, it would be terrible
He would be
defending against that
terrifying
guy.
you. The only
Yeah,
thing is his end product isn't that good.
it's not, it's
It
not.
could
But
be better. If it gets better, it would
he's
be
gonna be
lethal.
deadly. Yeah,
Yeah, he'd be lethal. But he's one of the lower played players on the team.
yeah. So looking at the table, who are who is going to be staying? I mean, not staying. Who's going to be going to Champions League? Your top five, because EPL gets five teams, five slots. I think EPL does, La Liga does, and then uh, the Italian Serie A does. I
Syria.
think, yeah, I think they all get five, and then
Okay.
I think the French doesn't. The French gets four, and then the rest of the people get four. But let's focus on the EPL. Who do you think, by looking at it, who do you think is gonna go through for the
So
third, fourth,
they
fifth?
get five.
Yeah, yeah. The EPL get five. Yeah, EPL get five. So
To be
far, one
honest,
and two. So far, one and two is solidified.
I would keep it as it is right now.
Yeah,
City, Newcastle, Chelsea at the top of the next three.
yeah.
I don't
Villa,
think
Villa is playing United, which
Villa's,
is
yeah, Villa's
I don't.
playing good too.
But I don't think United, after this criticism, and I think United might put up a fight and might actually beat them.
This is the last game, right?
It's the last game.
So they'll be trying.
The Chelsea game is so tricky. They're playing Forest at Forest.
That'll be the game to watch.
That's gonna be the game.
That'll be the
That's gonna
game
be
to watch.
that's gonna be the game of the weekend, because whoever wins that is going to the Champions League.
Yeah, that'll be man. That'll. Whew, wee.
I know. And then I love how all the games are all at the same time at 8 o'clock.
Mm,
Yeah.
nice.
And then Newcastle and Everton.
Mm,
Everton has had a really good result in the top four against all the top
That's
four
tough for.
teams. Yeah,
Yeah, I would still say Newcastle. They have more to play for,
they do.
but yeah, they
They
have a
do.
lot to play for.
They do. And they've been playing well, to be
Hmm.
honest. They've been playing really well.
Yeah, it's gonna
So,
be interesting
yeah, it's
because
going to be
there's
interesting.
gonna be
Yeah.
a couple, maybe one or two big teams that might not make it.
Not by not make it. Yeah. Yeah. So we will bring you all that after the games are done. I think, is it on Sunday or Saturday?
Sunday.
Sunday. Yeah. All at 8 o'clock.
Hmm.
So, oh man, it's making the Champions League is a big deal. So once you do it, and you get money, you get recognition, clubs. The,
Yeah, it's a
it's a
big deal.
lot to play. It's a lot to play for. Yeah.
Yeah,
So and then Spurs already made it. So there's gonna be six English sides, and it's six.
yeah. Spurs
Yeah,
already made it. Yeah, yeah, that's
yeah.
true.
So
Wow.
next year, English side have a really high percentage of bringing in the trophy.
Hmm. But it's still got
Yeah.
to deal with Barcelona,
Yep, and
Real Madrid,
buying
and
Real
Bayern.
Madrid, Inter, and all the other big dogs out there. PSG too. Yeah.
Yep.
So transition into that, the Champions League final is gonna be, I think, next weekend.
Hmm.
Let's get a quick prediction on that and see who we think is gonna win.
Mm.
That the Golden Grill.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say PSG. I
Okay.
think PSG has a better squad. The way that they've progressed throughout this tournament, they've been more dominating. They've
Yeah.
impressed me throughout the whole season, especially throughout the Champions League campaigns
Absolutely.
as a knockout stages. And Inter, they've kind of scraped through the different. I wouldn't say they scraped through the last round.
They did. Yeah.
Um,
They've
so
been. Mhm.
yeah, I'm gonna say
What's
PSG.
what's your score?
Uh, I go 3-2.
Very too high scoring game.
Yeah, I want to see high score.
Um, yeah, I'm gonna go with PSG 2-1. I just think they've been playing the better football in the last three games. Dembele, I think Dembele was injured, but I think he should be fit to play. It's
Hmm.
funny how Barca let him go, and look what he's doing at PSG. Maybe he just didn't fit the system really well at Barcelona, but he's
Hmm.
playing so well for PSG. Hakimi, incredible. The goalie, the goalkeeper,
Yeah, he was a
I
beast.
think,
He's
yeah, he
good.
doesn't get enough credit. Oh man, he saved so many incredible saves. And also, I give the coach Enrique big credit, man. He came in PSG, gotten rid of Mbappe, all the deadwoods, Messi,
Yeah,
Neymar, like all those
yeah,
guys are
all
gone,
the
and
big
they
name
now
guys.
really playing together as a unit. And I think it would be devastating if PSG does not win. It's gonna be their first. Actually, no, they went to the final before and they lost, right? I
Who?
can't remember who they PSG.
PSG?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
they
they
did in 20 when Bayern won 2019,
yeah, yeah,
2020.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But that one
So
was pretty obvious. That was the year Munich was Bayern was just
yeah,
dominating.
yeah, they
And then
just
Inter went to the final in 2 years ago versus City.
City too, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's gonna be interesting. But all the stars are lining to PSG to um win that game. So we'll bring you all that coverage and all that stuff too once the game goes on.
Yeah,
Maybe we might have a watch party,
I know.
you never
I know
know.
that would be fun. All the
Yeah,
pressure
it'll be
is
fun.
on PSG. You could have a
Yeah,
watch
that's
party.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. It would be such a great game. In other news in football, do you wanted to cover the Christian Pulisic?
Yeah, we could talk about
Yeah,
the US
about the
national
Gold
team.
Cup. Yeah,
They have the Gold Cup. I think it's is it every summer? Or
I
the
can't. I
cadence
don't.
is maybe it's every 2 years.
Yeah,
But historically, I think the way the players look at it is that it's not a big tournament, especially the European players. They think of it, as like a second grade tournament,
yeah,
like
yeah,
the not like one of the big ones.
yeah.
So
But
uh,
to not to cut you out, the Gold Cup is basically winning like the African Cup of Nations or like the European Cup. That's like the equivalent for us.
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. And then especially for players like Pulisic, who's played a lot of European football,
50,
Champions League,
50 games
50
this year.
games, and his team has struggled this year. So in his head, when is he going to get a break? He's probably thinking, when am I going to have a break? Because
And
if
the
he plays this tournament,
World
it's a
Cup is tricky.
month of soccer,
Hmm.
and then off season starts for Milan, and then he's back again. So he won't really get much of a break
And then the
to
World Cup.
reset, and then the
World Cup
World Cup.
qualifier. Yeah, World
Yeah,
Cup
and then there's
qualifier.
no
Yeah.
qualifying because they're already there,
Oh
but
yeah, 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 yeah. So they good. Yeah,
which
yeah.
I think is a big risk because
Hmm.
you need those pressure games to be ready when the World Cup comes, because this is the last tournament, and your best
Mm.
players aren't even playing in the tournament, and this is Pochettino's the longest he'll have a group of players, because I think the tournament's like a month long.
Mm.
So the players will be kind of coming for the World Cup. They'll be coming in and out just from
Mm.
the club season. So I don't know. I don't think they're gonna do well in the World Cup next year.
I
It's not
don't.
looking like it.
I don't think so either. I know it might sound crazy, but we
Mhm.
will cover all that too for you guys. But yeah, if I want to go into why you was might not even make it out of the table, you guys might think I'm crazy, even though they haven't even made the group stages and all that stuff. There's
Yeah.
just so much work to do, like the groundwork, the grassroots of football needs to be. That's where it needs to start,
Yeah.
and that's not what US focuses on. But
Mhm.
we'll see. Oh, you might never know. They might be the dark horse and make it really far too. So, but
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
bulk
It could
of it
be.
and ride with the fans, right? Because when US really do show, the fans really do show off for soccer though,
Mhm.
so they could use that as their advantage. But Pulisic is gonna be a big factor for US. Like
Yeah.
they need him to be like how they say the Captain America. They need every player needs to be behind him. They need to him for him to be at his absolute best. So
Yeah. He's been he just the team hasn't came together. They're not playing
Mm,
inspired football.
mm,
They kind of look like a mess. And then the Gold Cup is like, if they win, so if they lose, it's not
yeah.
really. It's more of a chance to see new players who's going to step up potentially for the next tournament. Because Pochettino will have a good chance to look at the players through a
Mm,
longer period of games. So
mm,
yeah, but the European players have Club World Cup.
mm.
A couple of players are taking a break, they're not competing. So if I'm Pulisic, he'll probably be like, I'm playing with the B squad, so
Yeah.
it's even more pressure
Yeah.
for him.
But then but then also if you're a new upcoming player, what a great opportunity for you
Wow, this
to
is it.
show your
This is your
talent.
big chance.
It's
Yeah.
a big chance, yeah. And then it's not like US hasn't won the Gold Cup as of recent. Like if they haven't won it like in a long time, like maybe 10 years or something, then
hmm
okay, then this is like it's a big deal. Like you need to show up. But I think they won it last. Did they win it last year or 2 years ago? It's
Uh,
always between them and Mexico. So
yeah. I don't know who
you know
won
what I
the
mean? Yeah,
last.
yeah. Yeah. So
I know they
what
won
is
it within the last 2 years because
yeah,
I remember them celebrating.
yeah. So I think that's
Uh,
also why it's not such a big deal if you
mhm,
know what I mean. Like it doesn't if he doesn't play or not. But it would be nice for him to be kind of like the spirit of the team and
mhm.
be there so that the young guys that are coming up can see his work ethic, can see his leadership, can see all that kind of what he brings on to the table, right? And Poch could also use him as well for his leadership and all that.
Yeah, I think the leadership definitely will be missed because you need someone to look up to. If it's a bunch of newer players on the team,
Hmm.
who are they going to look up to? Who do they want to be? Who are they going to replace? So it's good to because he's not a vocal player, so it's good to
Nah,
see him lead by example as he does on the pitch.
mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a big miss.
It is, it is, but I think they will do fine. They still have a lot of young cats on the team too, who a lot of energy.
Hmm
I haven't watched much of U.S. football like that. I know you kind of watch it and have a lot of interest in it. I know they have a lot of young.
All right, I'm back, Chief.
Yep. So when was the last time U.S. won the Gold Cup?
They won it in 2021.
Yeah.
And
So
it was a lot of MLS based players. I was kind of surprised about that win. And
okay.
then 2023 Mexico won.
Yeah.
Mexico beat Panama.
Okay.
So it's kind of been back and forth US Mexico, US Mexico.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I mean,
Mexico's
yeah.
been playing better. They look
That's
good. They
part.
look
That yeah. That's probably why U.S. don't really rate. Like they don't. That's what politics probably is. It's whatever if we win.
yeah.
Good.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
he's trying to take some time off.
Yeah. I don't. He wants to be recharged for the World Cup once the World Cup
Hmm
comes up. Um. Yeah. So that's that, and then Hansi Flick, man, he signed a new deal with Barcelona, which will keep him there until 2027. I
hmm
think he's a perfect coach for them.
Yeah, he's been doing a good job. They're
Oh
playing
man,
incredible football.
uh, 2027. So that's 2 seasons, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think once he's done, I think he might leave on unless something crazy happened and then they go down the rabbit hole and then they can't keep
Wait,
up.
what do you mean once he's done, he might leave?
Like once his contract finishes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, same with Pep. I think Pep too is done too once. Um, but yeah, Hansi
They just
Flick,
renewed
new
his
deal.
contract.
I know, but for me, after this season, I don't know, man. I think he's just kind of getting tired.
I was
I,
surprised he renewed the contract.
I did too
I was surprised.
because all his OGs are stepped down. If you think about it, him and Moreno are the only one left from
Mhm.
that really because
Hmm.
Klopp is done. Ancelotti one just confirmed. I don't know if you saw that the Brazil one.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So he's done. Klopp is done. Um, Fergie and all those are being gone. Yeah. So time for him to step down, go spend time with the wife, with the kids, just take
Maybe
a
he doesn't want
vacation.
to.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, Arsene Wenger, all those guys are done.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everybody has left. You're right.
yeah. So I'm actually really surprised that when he re-signed it. But Hansi Flick staying for onto 2027 is definitely a good move for Barcelona
Hmm.
that I think they did. He plays great football. They won the treble, you know. A lot of people are not even,
Hmm.
yeah, being able to go toe to toe with Ancelotti and cleaning out the league and the League Cup and the other cup too. It's it's great. So
Yeah, they've had a lot of success, and
yeah,
you know, before he got there, there was a mess. So he's kind of stabilized the ship. That's what he did
yeah,
at Bayern too when he was there. He
yeah, yeah,
stabilized
and
the
it
ship,
won. Yeah,
and they won. And then he went
yeah.
to the German national team. Didn't
They
last too long there.
Yeah, I don't know what's going.
Yeah.
I don't know what was going, but he took him pretty far too. I think
Yeah.
actually, did he? But he seems like a good coach, and since he joined too, you know, let me Yamal, look at that, incredible.
Great talent.
Rafinha blowing up like
Yeah.
their midfield, Pedri and all those guys just playing so well. Even the goalkeeper,
Hmm.
Chesney, I think he
Hmm.
used to be at Arsenal.
Juventus.
Yeah, I
Most
think
recently, he played at Juventus,
yeah,
and
old
then he
guy too.
retired, and then he came out of retirement.
Yeah, look at that. So he's a great coach. So if I was Barcelona and the contract ends, I would really hold on to him tight because
Yeah.
he's definitely somebody that they need to
Yeah. He was
hold
at
on.
Juventus for 7 years. Yeah.
Wow, I never knew that.
Interesting.
Jeez,
Yeah.
really? Wow. Okay.
Prior 7 years. Because yeah, he was. When I was watching, I've been watching Juventus a lot the last few years, and he's always been
Yeah.
the
So he was there
goalkeeper.
when Ronaldo was he there when Ronaldo was there?
Yeah.
What the heck?
He's been there since
Really?
2017. Yeah. He's
Wow.
good. He's a good. He's
Yeah.
yeah. He's 35.
Yeah.
But back on Pulisic, so he
Oh yeah,
hasn't
yeah,
signed an
yeah.
extension at Rome or Milan.
AC Milan.
They,
Whoa.
so he
That's big.
doesn't. He wants to kind of know what the project or what the future is
Hmm.
because the team had such a poor season this year.
They're not going to
He's trying to.
Champions League either.
They're not going to Champions League. As a footballer, you want to be making sure that your team is, and they've sacked the coach. It's been a mess.
Yeah.
It's truly been a mess. So he
Ooh,
wants to know what's going on.
that's a big deal. Where
Hmm.
if I was him, I know you get it. This might sound crazy. Actually, it is crazy. I'll
I'm
come in.
listening.
I'll come into the. I'll come home. I'll come
Where
home.
where's home?
I'll come home to
Where
try
is home?
to come home. Come home, Christian.
Where
Come
is home?
home to US soil, not Dortmund, because that's where he blew up, right? At Dortmund.
Hmm.
Come home to US soil and try to develop the league to make it better. I don't know if there's a lot of
MLS.
ice taken. Yeah. He says MLS. I mean, Messi is here.
Messi can't even do that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
He can come and play, but when his career is almost over, it would make sense, right?
Yeah,
Right
the
now,
hype.
it
Yeah,
wouldn't
the
make
hype.
sense.
Yeah, because the Messi hype train kind of went down a little. He's still.
Yeah,
It
it's
still
gonna.
doesn't matter whatever game that he goes and play. The stadium's gonna be full. But I think
Hmm.
he has died down a little, so I don't think Pulisic will make it any better.
Hmm. And
Yeah,
Messi is always arguing with the referee. You notice that?
yeah,
This guy's angry. He's
yeah.
an angry guy.
Because they always hacking him. They always hacking him and
And I'm
kicking
like,
him.
he's got to speak English because he's always talking
Yeah.
smack to the ref.
Yeah. Yeah, he is. I'm always wondering what language he communicates in. It's Spanish, right? But like
Usually Spanish.
his other players that don't speak Spanish, how does he communicate with them? Oh,
I think
the
the
translator.
way he looks at you, the way he moves, he can communicate. He
Yeah,
can communicate.
yeah. So Pulisic, go back to Dortmund or just come back home and make the U.S. foundation football just better.
Yeah, he's not coming back.
He's like, yeah, he's definitely not
But some of the MLS team can pay him
comparable.
comparable wages.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
if
Yeah,
you're looking for that, yeah, it's
yeah.
definitely an option.
And last but not least, person who's not coming back, transitioning, Luka Modric.
Yeah, I was surprised. I thought he was gonna extend for another year like he always does.
No, they have
No?
Kamavinga. They have Kamavinga there. They have other midfielders there. But my goodness, this guy's accolades.
Mm.
What?
He's done it
20,
all.
28 trophies?
Wow.
This guy has more trophies than a lot of clubs in Europe. Yeah,
That's
and
crazy.
he's I think there's four players and he's one of them has won six Champions Leagues.
He's won 6.
Six Champions
Damn.
League. Yeah,
Yeah,
he has
that's
the
impressive.
most. 39 years old, 13 seasons with Madrid, 2018 Ballon d'Or winner,
Mm. He's done it all.
six Champions League. I don't know how many league titles he won. Um, I don't even know what to say about this guy that he hasn't done.
Yeah,
He
it's pretty much
came really
it's
close to winning the World Cup in the final. They lost to France. No, was it? Maybe it was the semifinal that they lost to France. Or
I
the
think it was to France. Yeah, I
yeah,
think it was to France.
yeah. It was yeah. This guy has done everything. Like reading autobiography on this guy is gonna be incredible because
Pure class.
yeah, he has played with the best of the best, and
Mhm.
like I said, he must have kept his diet and
Gotta
health
be.
really well. Yeah, because
Yeah.
39 years old
There's
and
no
he's
way
so
you're gonna last that long.
yeah.
He played
Yeah,
at
so
Hotspur Tottenham too. 4
oh
years.
yeah, he did. Yeah, he did before he went. Yeah, before he went to yeah. So
Yeah.
my question to you is: this season, two legends midfielders are retiring. Oh, I don't know where Modric's gonna go. I'm sure he's probably gonna go home to Croatia and play in the Croatian league and probably like retire.
Yeah, we'll see. He likes to play in the top league, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
So if you're a coach, you have to bench one and start one. Modric or Kevin De Bruyne. They're both are 25 years old at their peak.
Uh,
I know.
that's tough.
Actually,
At their peak,
okay.
man.
Hold on. Start, bench, sell. N'Golo Kante, Modric, and Kevin De Bruyne. Start, bench, and sell
I would
at their peak.
start
At
at
their
their peak.
absolute peak. Yeah.
Man, I would start. I probably start Conte.
Okay, that's a good choice.
I would bench.
It's so tough.
Man, it doesn't. It's the toss up.
At their absolute peak. Remember when De Bruyne used to give those smooth ball like I know, and Modric too.
Man, either or, either one I say. Okay, actually, I'll start Kevin De Bruyne.
Mhm.
I'd bench Modric, and I'll sell Conte.
N'Golo.
Yeah,
Wow.
I switched it up.
You switch it up. I will sell Conte just I mean not sell. I will start Conte just for the work ethic and just him as a player. I will bench Modric and so Kevin like Moreno did.
No, how many times he's won the PFA Player of the Year?
That's
He
yeah.
yeah,
That's I think 3 or 4.
yeah. So I mean,
Oh
it's
man,
impressive.
that's
Yeah,
yeah. at 39, he's gonna go down. I think he deserves a statue or something at
Yeah, I
Real
think they said
Madrid.
he's gonna get a statue.
Yeah,
Well,
because
wait, I don't know. I know it's
20,
Kevin De Bruyne that said he'll get a statue, but Modric, he should get something because
28 trophies.
not a
Oh
lot,
my!
not a lot of people last that long in Real Madrid.
Yeah, I think Marcelo has the most out of any player actually.
Trophies or
Yeah, trophies. Yeah,
trophies? Okay.
yeah. I think it's Marcelo if I'm not mistaken. But man, he's gonna go down as one of the
And
best fielders that we've ever seen.
and when he
Yeah, go ahead.
plays now, he doesn't even look out of place.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the
Yeah,
crazy thing.
yeah.
He still
Uh,
looks like he belongs.
yeah. So that's what I'm wondering. Marcelo has 25 trophies.
Wow.
Um, so I think he might. Yeah. Messi's not your never mind. Messi's at 46.
Messi?
Messi's at 46 overall trophies, though, not just for the
Yeah.
club.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Just
Yeah.
overall in his career?
Yeah, overall in his career,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, Marcelo has 25 trophies overall. Yeah, so okay, it is Messi. Jeez, that's crazy. He played for Real Madrid 546 times, winning 25 trophies in his process.
He
Yeah,
trained for the team today.
yeah. So yeah,
He's
I saw that they
It's
slowly
crazy.
dwindling them out. So it's gonna be interesting to see how Madrid plays without him next season, starting next
Yeah.
season. Yeah.
Is this gonna be interesting with the new coach too? You know,
Who? Xavi Alonso?
yeah.
Yeah.
What style they're gonna play, how different they'll look this year compared to the previous years with the same coach.
Yeah.
Because usually a coach will try to make an imprint by the way they play or something. So we'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. So next week we have a lot. We'd have a lot to uncover. Champions League, who made it into the Champions League from each league,
Mhm.
who won the Champions League, and a whole bunch of other news that we have coming up for you. And also the transfer market is already starting. It's about to heat up soon. So
My
stay
favorite.
yeah. Stay tuned for those. So
Yeah.
that's a wrap for us for Cleats&Beats. Thanks for joining us. Like always,
Another
we will
episode. Appreciate
locked
all
in.
the
Yeah,
listeners,
yeah,
viewers.
yep. Tune in next week for episode number 10 as we wrap it up for the season.
Yes, sir.
And also we're gonna recover cover all everyone that won the trophy, people that won, teams that didn't,
Mm.
who, who's getting laughed at. So,
Yes, sir. We'll
so
touch
for
on
sure,
everything.
we
It's
will
been a good
touch on
episode.
everything. Yeah, for sure. Until next time, guys.
All right. Take care.
All right, peace.